Hi, welcome from Horns High Studios. I'm here doing another episode of 666 seconds of murder. That means each episode is less than 11 minutes and 6 seconds, or 666 seconds. So let's get started. You guys definitely are interested in the Idaho 4 case. I mean, I read you loud and clear in the comments and likes and views. So I'm going to keep that content going, and we're going to talk about it again tonight, and try to explain, at least my view on, who did this, who could have done this. Was it one person? Was it more than one? Talk about that a little bit. These are, of course, my personal, opinions, speculations, and no other purpose is meant by these, things you're going to hear. But the thing with this case is there's so many shady people or questionable people in the periphery. I mean, there's just a lot going on. This case is extremely complicated with just so many different people. And I'm sure the gag order, as I've said before, is, a big part of that. People just don't have any other information, so we all just speculate. Now, we've heard many different names floated around by internet sleuths out there, other content creators, but I appreciate you guys that are out there like I am, watching content, commenting, giving some back and forth, because I think that's what makes this interesting. So you guys just rule for being so cool about that. And I'm not saying that, any of the people I'm going to mention are guilty or suspect or anything. They may be suspect to me, but that doesn't mean they're officially suspects. Okay. So we're just talking about it. Now, I don't know if I've ever followed a true crime case with so many people that I feel are suspicious, in my mind. It's like this macabre game of Clue, but it's real life. And, who was it that did this? Was it Miss Scarlet in the library with the candlestick? I don't know. It just feels like that. Now, like with any story, there's several sides to it. And there's not enough time, obviously, in a format like this to dig into any one of these people. I'm just going to mention some and a little bit about why they're on my quote-unquote list. I'm not saying that Brian Kohberger did or didn't do this. We really don't know. But if he did, I'm definitely not seeing him doing it by himself. I definitely think he needed some help. So who might be some people that would be involved in something like this that were around? We're going to get into it. But I am going to do another video on the drug angle, which I do feel played a part here. We've heard the name David Loach brought up, fraternity member over at Sigma Chi. We know that his name was brought up here because, he got into an argument. I don't know how much beyond it that it was, but with Ethan that night before this happened. And apparently I'd also heard that Maddie had embarrassed him at a party before that, recently before that. So certainly could have an issue with both of those two. Whether it would be to the point of what happened, I really just don't know. We also do know that he, allegedly was taking steroids, and that certainly can produce rage in people. And so who knows what could have happened there. The other name you heard, Jack Showalter, the hoodie guy. He was a Delta Tau Delta member, and he was at this annual ball in January of 2022 when Hudson Lindau was found dead in a very shallow piece of water on the Paradise Creek there in Moscow, which was very close, apparently, to Greek Row. Very suspicious. Of course, the police amazingly found it was accidental, but definitely suspicious. Looked like it could have been a hazing. And Jack Showalter was at that party. So was Xana, so was Maddie, and so was Ethan. So again, we just don't know. He was kicked out of his fraternity, not sure why. He was, in that infamous grub truck video, gets kind of snubbed by Maddie and Kaylee when they left abruptly, and then he kind of just walks off. Also, apparently went to Africa to spend some time with his parents, who apparently work there. But, he's suspicious for sure. Jack Decor, the former boyfriend of Kaylee, always going to be a suspect when you're the significant other or former significant other of a victim like this. I don't know much about the guy, of course, just more than, no more than what we've probably all heard and read, but just don't know about him. Then you got Emma Bailey and Demetrius Robinson, her boyfriend / pimp, not really sure. They were friends with Ashlyn, and that was the one roommate there that didn't actually live there, but rented that other basement bedroom. Kind of suspicious. I'm going to talk about that in another video. But she was friends with Dylan. So Emma and Demetrius were friends with Ashlyn and Dylan, and they were definitely embroiled in the drug trade. I mean, they were, in a mess of somebody that OD'd on some fentanyl, and they were implicated in that. So not sure what's going on with those two, but certainly concerning. And the Sigma Chi frat house full of potential people that could have been involved one way, shape, or form. We've heard the name David B. or Barry as he went. Barracoa, I think is how you say his last name. He was a buddy of David Loach's. He's apparently in Spain or was in Spain after this happened. So, really, really kind of weird. But, Sigma Chi being so closely located to King Road right across the street, very much accessible to them by foot and could have been easy. And, I'm going to be doing more on Sigma Chi. I think there's a lot more to be said there. But they were shown in pictures with K-bar knives a month before this happened. So certainly suspicious. And I'm wondering if the police in Moscow actually went and inventoried their knives and tested them and tested the sheaths. But I already know the answer to that question, and that's probably a big no. So the $1 million question, of course, again, who did this? Many of you have commented about the speed in which the police cleared these people. I mean, that was definitely very strange to clear that many people that quickly. And you wonder, did the university have any influence on them of trying to get this thing quieted down and people off the table, not wanting to mess with the fraternities either? So I don't know. I'm just amazed that a university has this much drama going on. I mean, I never really went to college, only went for a year, but it just seems like an awful lot of crap going on in such a small group of people. I mean, very, very suspicious. And the local police seem to just be kind of turning a blind eye, going through the motions when they showed up for noise complaints and stuff like that. No one mentioned, that I mentioned as a suspect, according to the police, but just people that I've heard brought up in the conversation and wanted to see what you guys thought about it. So definitely comment below. I know you guys probably will because you've been really good about that. And I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. And make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment below. If you like what I do, you can listen to me every week on the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast, or a true crime heavy metal mashup every week. If you don't like heavy metal, that's all right. You can bow out after the true crime feature. So you could check that out. All the details are below or in the episode description. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.